Tekrardan merhaba. Sıradaki oturumumuz için sunumunu yapmak üzere JTI Türkiye eğitim sorumlusu Ayşegül Özcömert'i davet ediyorum. Ayşegül Hanım hoş geldiniz.
Hoş bulduk Yaren, merhaba.
Merhabalar. Ben sözü size bırakıyorum.
Teşekkürler. Ben de bundan sonrası için İngilizce devam ediyorum. Dear all, first of all, it was a great pleasure for me and for us meeting with you here, even it's virtually. I know you are excited about hearing about our stories, but I'm going to hand over to our marketing director, Nick Jeans, a few minutes later to share his career journey and some tips and tricks in marketing. But beforehand, I know that you are excited about hearing from us about what kind of different opportunities we have for the young talents. And before starting, also, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Ayşegül, working in People and Culture Department in Talent Management function and responsible for learning and development activities and all recruitment activities. I'm going to share a little presentation that can shows the opportunities for the young talents. The first one is summer training program. As you may know, we have a summer training program with Okay, is it done? Okay, we have summer traineeship program between June and September, and the duration of our program is like 6 to 8 weeks. And our summer traineeship program is for second, third, and fourth year university students. But if you are a fourth year student, you need to have compulsory internship to apply. The application duration between March and April, and then you can follow our job advertisement websites like jobs.jti.com, LinkedIn, and career.net. And also we have new graduate program. The duration is 11 months. This program is for the university graduates, as it's mentioned in the name. And the application you can apply whenever the job posted for the position, actually, because we have different departments who needs new graduates like sales, marketing, people and culture, legal, production, engineering, IT. We can have this new graduate program actually for all our departments. You need to follow up in our job advertisement websites. And it was really excited for me to have this Make It Bright challenge here, because it's kind of a global project challenge in JTI all over the world. And as JTI Turkey, we are also attending this project challenge with the young talents, with university students this year. If you would like to get more information, please visit the website that I'm going to present in the next slide. We are looking forward to different project ideas about shaping your ideal solution for the workplace of tomorrow. We are now, as you know, we can work from office, home, or anywhere. That's why this year's challenge is hybrid work. The project is started in 3rd of October, and you can have a chance to apply your ideas till 15th of January. You can apply by yourself, or you can apply of a team or 2 or 3. And we are looking forward to the different ideas for this project. And in February, we can announce the local winners, and in March, you can have a chance to go to global winning celebration. You can see much more prizes in the website, like makeitbrightchallenge.com. And there can be like global internship programs, different training programs in different countries, and also online training programs. And we are looking for your applications this global journey. This is my presentation right now about what we are offering for the young talents. And now I would like to hand over to our marketing director, Nick Jeans, to share his career journey and inspiring solutions for young talents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayşegül.
You're welcome.
Thanks for sharing the exciting opportunities in JTI. Merhaba, everybody. Unfortunately, my Turkish is very limited, so I'll have to do this in English as well today, if you don't mind. I know it's been a long day for all of you, so I'll try to keep it very short and smooth. A quick presentation I'd like to share with you. Has that come up okay? think so. Fantastic. So 2 words about myself to introduce myself to you guys. So I'm Nick. I'm from Belgium originally, from Antwerp, 40 years old. A few pictures here of my family and a few of my hobbies. So I have my wife is Claudia from Portugal. I have a young boy that is 2 years old, and we're expecting a second one in like 3 or 4 weeks. So any moment now, actually. I'm very keen on outdoor sports, anything basically that involves mountains, water, snow, adventure. That will basically get my adrenaline up. I'm very keen to do. Work-wise, I'd like to share just a very brief journey and let's say my learnings of what I've been through in my career of more or less, let's say 15 years since graduating. So I graduated in Belgium from the Catholic University in Leuven. I studied business engineering, so it's a bit of a combination between engineering and the typical business studies. So I'm not a typical marketing profile, although today I'm a marketing director. I think that most of you here in the audience know probably more about marketing than I do, to be honest. But just to show that your background doesn't always determine where you end up, and you have lots of different choices that you can make in life. After I graduated, I wanted to do a little bit more of understanding and building my knowledge on finance. So I did a 1-year master in finance in the EADA Business School in Barcelona. And then I still didn't feel like committing to work. I was always somebody that liked to try a lot of different things and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I took one gap year, so basically a time off between studying and starting to work. And I traveled around the world with one of my best friends. When I came back from that, I decided it's time to work. So I came back to Belgium. I started as a consultant for Deloitte. So one of the typical talent companies where you get, in a few years, you get lots of learnings and lots of experience. But after a few years, I wanted to really I felt the need to join a family and to be in a company a little bit more long-term, because as a consultant, I felt it was a great learning opportunity, but you always work a few months here, a few months there. You always learn something and you move on. And I was missing after a few years the sense of belonging and of a bit more of a longer term perspective. So then I decided to join JTI. So I've been in the company since 2010. So that's about 12 years now. And I joined back then in a global traineeship program, let's say. So I started in Belgium as a junior brand manager. So that was my first shift to marketing, basically. So before that, I had worked more in general business and finance consulting, but I shifted together with my move to JTI. I shifted to marketing. So I worked 1 year as a junior brand manager in Belgium. So we were operating the Belgium, Luxembourg, and Netherlands markets from the office in Brussels. And after 1 year, as a part of my traineeship program, they sent me to the head office in Geneva in Switzerland. And in Switzerland, I started working for the Winston brand group. So as in many FMCG companies, in the headquarters, for each brand, there's a brand group. So I ended up in the Winston brand group, which is our biggest brand globally. And we do the usual activities from developing packaging, developing portfolio strategy, developing activation and consumer campaigns. So very interesting to see all the marketing activities from a global perspective. And then after a few years in the Winston brand group, I moved to a very exciting and new business opportunity internally, or at least for our industry, which is what we call the new category of products, the reduced risk products. So you know that in Turkey, these products are banned, but in the rest of the world, you have vaping products and you have heated tobacco products. So I started working again from an HQ perspective on the development of these new products, and as a commercial manager, working with all of our countries around the world, how we can launch these products in the best possible way. So I traveled quite a bit to all of the different markets around the world in JTI to work with the local people in order to help them how to launch new vaping products and how to launch new heated tobacco products. And at the end of my journey in Switzerland, in the head office, I was promoted basically to the marketing director for these new products in London, in the UK. So the UK is our biggest market worldwide for vaping and heated tobacco products. So I spent 4 years there, did a few very exciting launches. Obviously, in the reduced risk products category, there's a lot of marketing tools that are available to us. So we literally did everything from above the line advertising to building websites and influencer marketing, to even building our own retail chain, direct to consumer retail with training our brand staff, etc. So a lot of very cool and interesting and engaging stuff for a marketeer. So this is a great opportunity, of course. And after 4 years, I made the move to Turkey. So last year, I moved to Istanbul with my family, and now I'm responsible for the JTI brands and the marketing department here in Turkey. Again, a very big market for JTI worldwide. I believe we're currently the third biggest market for JTI in terms of volume. So obviously a very key market and a very interesting challenge for me personally and for all the people that are working in JTI in Turkey. So that's in brief my story so far. I still have a few years to go, of course, in my professional career. So I'm very keen to see where this will bring me. In JTI, we have a kind of a schedule or a program where people like me, we move around every 4 years. So I'll probably be in Turkey for about 4 years, let's say until 2024, 2025. And then I'll go on to the next country, the next location, the next position. And that's what I really like about working in JTI. I have this, this opportunity to work in a lot of different countries, to meet a lot of different people, to learn about cultures in different areas, ways of working in different areas. And the job is always quite different just because you're forced to change. And I love that challenge of always starting from scratch, building a new network, understanding a new country and culture, and making sure you can be successful in only 4 years. So it's a great challenge, and that keeps me very driven and motivated in this situation. Now, they asked me to share my journey, and they also asked me as a second part of the chat that we're having today to share with you a few of learnings or recommendations. They're not necessarily specific on marketing and sales, but a bit more what I would consider as guidance for a career, what works for me. But of course, everybody's different. But I'll share with a few of the things that helped me throughout my career and that I think are important. But obviously, these things are very different for everybody. First of all, I think you can see it from my background, this is my credo, right? So I really believe in stepping out of your comfort zone and looking for that learning opportunity. I think good things happen to people that try new things and are open to learn new things. Don't worry about, being terrible in the beginning. If you try something new, you'll fail, you'll learn, you get better. And at least every time you try something new, you take a new job, you take on a new project, you step out of your comfort zone to meet new people, it will make you richer and richer and richer. And I truly believe that, automatically good things will happen to you if you have this mindset in your life. So don't fall in love with doing what you're good at, but challenge yourself and try to find things that you're not good at or things that interest you, but you don't know much about. And then eventually, after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you'll be so much richer and you'll have so much more experience and good things will start happening to you for sure. That is probably my biggest motto that I deploy for myself personally. Secondly, I kind of changed the picture that I found on the internet. I think you might know the business saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I changed the picture a bit myself. And this is something that I wanted to share with you because you're all in a very exciting position of your life. You're about to graduate or you have graduated and you're going to think about where am I going to work now? So I need to find a company or a place to work and where shall I go? So I changed this a little bit. And what I would recommend or what I learned only afterwards. I didn't know this when I started applying myself, but I'm happy that I find out now, and I would like to share this with you. I would say don't fall in love with, the big name of a company or something that you think will look good on your CV because this company, has a good reputation or a big title that they promise you or a big salary or a big status. I think the most important for me after working for a few years and what I've learned is culture is the most important thing when joining a company. Who are the people that you're going to work with? It's very hard to find out actually before when you're about to join a company or you're doing interviews or you're looking at the website. It's not easy because culture is something, that is very subjective. It's hard to grasp. You need to really kind of trust your gut feel, but try to talk to people that you know in the company, maybe friends or people that graduated a few years before you. How do people treat you when they interview you? Are they nice to you? Are they friendly? Do they treat you as equal? Are they quick in their responses and honest and fair? But try to get as much information as you can about culture, because that's what's going to, keep you waking up in the morning and make you feel happy about going to work. The big name and the reputation and the big title and the big salary or whatever it is, it's not going to keep you happy for very long. After a month or after a year, that's not going to motivate you. It's the people around you and that you work with on a daily basis that are going to motivate you and make you happy or very unhappy. So that's something I would recommend to definitely try to look at when you apply for jobs. Another one, and I made this kind of specifically for Turkey because I moved here from working in a few different countries. And I noticed that there's so much talent here in Turkey. There's so many highly educated people. I was really surprised how many people have great diplomas and are super smart when I talk to them. But I noticed that a lot of youngsters are sometimes not always, they're sometimes a little bit shy and they don't always speak up. I would just like to encourage you guys. You guys are the future. You're so intelligent. You have so much to give to a company, even to somebody that's 20 years older. Don't be shy to share your opinion because just, you being from a different generation, there's so much value in what you can bring to a company and what you can say. And I noticed that, there's a bit of a habit or a tendency just to accept what the boss says is the truth. I'm not going to challenge him or her because I'm sure that person has more experience than me, so I'm going to believe whatever they say. So be proactive. You're the one who manages your career. You should say what you want, where you want to go, what you want to do. I want to be involved in this project, or this is my opinion about that topic. And as long as you do that in a positive way, and if you contribute positively, nothing will go wrong. If something would go wrong when speaking up or being proactive, that means you're in the wrong company. So then you should change companies, but you should never be punished for sharing your opinion, and try to find a company where that is welcomed is something that I would definitely like to share with you. Something that's another kind of credo that I have, at least, and this is something that I only learned too late probably, so probably I think it requires a little bit of maturity, so probably valuable to share with you guys. When you're younger, at least me when I was younger, you think a little bit more about yourself, like my career, my promotion, my next step, my project, my success. And I kind of learned along the years that, if you really make it a habit and it's part of your natural way of working to focus on helping others and caring about the success of others and sharing information that you have or things that you know, and then training other people and making other people succeed, or the group, making the group better, it's very funny, but automatically good things happen to you when you act like this. So again, over the years, I've become probably less and less and less individual and more, I just try to give as much as I can and care as much as I can about people around me. And you notice that good things happen to you because, you create this aura around you, this kind of atmosphere where good things happen. And if everybody's better off, eventually you will be better off as well. So it's maybe it's even more something like a life lesson than a work lesson. But for me, this was something that I find very important, that I discovered this over the years. And the last one, maybe a huge cliche, but that's so true. And I think I cannot, talk to you guys without mentioning this. Whatever you're going to do in your career, it's in the end all about the people. It's not only the joy that you get and the success that you get will depend on the people. If you have nice people around you that you treat them with respect and you try to help them, they will reciprocate and do the same for you. But it's also what makes you succeed. If you have a good network, if you make sure that you build your connections and you cherish them, you nurture them, that's where the opportunities are suddenly going to come from, right? So I noticed that if I look now 15 years after graduating, the people from my year that graduated with me, the ones that are the most successful, are not the ones with, the best grades and the smartest ones in the room. They were the people that, were the most social and had the biggest groups of friends and the ones that were nice to others. So trust your network, build your network, help other people, give to people. And, that's what's going to give you joy in your career. That's what's going to make you succeed in your career as well. So it's quite easy once you realize this. So not very marketing and sales specific, but I think I saw that there was a few questions before and they might go more in the marketing and sales area. So just like to close with the other word that I know in Turkish, which is teşekkürler for listening to me. And if there's a few questions from the audience, I'll be more than happy to take them.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Nick. We still have 10 minutes. If you wish, I can direct you to the questions.
Sure, let's go.
Firstly, how should I develop myself to work in the field of marketing?
Yeah, good point. And I think, as I mentioned before, I believe in trying a lot of different things and stepping out of your comfort zone. So What that means for marketing is don't try to pin yourself down too quickly on one specific area. You know, within marketing, first of all, you have marketing and sales, right? So there are two directions or two departments typically in companies that work together. But if you have any experience or if you're able in the early years of your career to work in marketing and work in sales, it's going to make you a much better leader later on. And the earlier you do that, the better, because it's always going to be difficult to make these side steps later on in your career. So if you're young and you could do a few years in marketing and then a few years in sales, it's going to help you a lot later on in your career. And the same applies within marketing. So don't try to do only brand marketing or don't try to do only data and research. But if in the early years, you know, you can do brand and portfolio, and then you can do data and research, and you can also do digital marketing, you probably touch the 3 or 4 most important areas within marketing. And again, it's going to be, it will make you a much stronger marketeer in the long run. And that's going to prepare you to become a marketing director, a marketing VP in big companies later on, or whatever you aspire to do. But be broad. In the early years, be as broad as you can, expand your knowledge as much as you can, and that's going to help you later on. Don't specialize.
Okay. Secondly, what is your most important feature that you believe makes a difference in the business world?
I can answer that probably in 2 ways. Like the most important feature for us is JTI, or the most important feature for me personally. I think I personally don't have any special feature. I think I'm just one of many, and I'm probably, you know, like a lot of other people. My key thing that I try to do is I trust people and I rely on people. I spend most of the time, if I need to, or my priorities at least, are with my team. If anybody needs something, whether it's they need help or they need my attention, I try to give that. And that's what I believe makes a difference in business. Don't try to, or I don't try at least, to reach success at all costs. I think I always try to reach success, but I'd rather have only 90% success and have everybody happy than trying to, you know, do the best thing possible and not having everybody with me. So that's how I differentiate myself.
Perfect. Our other questions, who are your role models at the beginning of your career?
They're probably very different from nowadays, because I think nowadays, if you look at business, there's all these startups and there's Elon Musk and there's, you know, all these cool tech guys in Silicon Valley. But back in my days, that didn't exist yet. But a business person that was a role model for me back then, and I read a few books of his, is Richard Branson. I'm not even sure if he's still known to the current generation, but he's the founder of Virgin and a number of other companies. Now he's a bit older, but he used to be a super cool serial entrepreneur, and he tried a lot of different things. And if you read his books, I think he was very aspirational in terms of how he looked at life and how he did things.
Another question we have is there a decision in your career that you would like to change if you go back?
No, to be honest, I don't think so. I mean, I've always told myself I will regret more not trying than I would regret trying something and not be happy, right? So you can see from my background, I've moved around a lot. I've worked in I've studied engineering, then worked in finance, then worked in marketing. So I tried a lot of different things. I've lived in a lot of different countries, and I've always had that idea. You will only regret in life what you have not tried. You will never regret something that you tried. Maybe it was good, maybe it was a bit less good, but trying is always better than not trying. So, you know, with that in mind, I don't have any regrets. Absolutely not.
Perfect. Another question is, do you have habits that you routinely do in a normal working day and that you believe are productive? May you share with us?
Yeah, I don't have anything like very fixed. You know, I know there's a lot of books out there now that say, "Oh, do this to be productive and do that to be the best, you know, possible person." I think it's quite simple for me. I think it starts outside of work. I try as much as possible to make time for sports, right? To make sure that you're healthy and fit, and then that allows me to take my mind off things and not only focus on work. I try also every day to make time for family, to have breakfast together, to have dinner together if I can. And then during work, what I mentioned before, I think one of my habits is prioritize people. I mean, if there's 10 problems waiting for me, but one problem is something related to a person, I will always prioritize that problem first, or that person first. And yeah, that's it. I think keep a healthy work-life balance. be happy, and then you'll be good at work. If you don't do that, I mean, I don't think you can be successful at work.
Okay. As someone who has worked in many countries, has anything surprised you in Turkey?
Good one. Yeah, of course, there's lots of surprises. I mean, good surprises. The food is amazing here. The people are super friendly. The people love cats and dogs. But work-wise, yeah, what I mentioned before, super intelligent people, very, hardworking people. I think Turkey has a culture of working really hard. But don't respect your boss too much. That's what I was surprised about. Sometimes, that the young generation, I'm not saying everybody, but the ones that I work with, and I notice that sometimes they're too polite and too nice, and they have too much respect for the hierarchy. So I really have to tell guy, no, tell me what you think. Don't just say yes because I said something. I want to hear what you think. Challenge me. Tell me I'm wrong, and I want to hear your idea. So that's something that in the other countries that I worked, I think sometimes the young generation is a bit more vocal and they dare to challenge you. So again, I would like to invite all super young, bright minds out there that are listening. Don't be too shy. Don't have too much respect for the hierarchy, but speak up and show everybody what you know. I mean, we want to hear it.
Thank you. And our other questions, what are your efforts to adapt to digital transformation?
Good one. I mean, that's of course a big buzzword, right? I think you have two buzzwords there, digital and transformation. There were two big topics in JTI, of course, as well. On digital, there's so many things that you can do, right? And I'm not going to bore you with everything that we're doing, but of course, we have the internal processes of a company where you try to digitalize as much as possible and avoid all the old school ways of doing things. But then in marketing, of course, there is consumer marketing, there is trade marketing. So we in JTI, we have more and more people working on digital, both in the markets and in the head office. Of course, in our category in tobacco, we're relatively limited, but we have a few people working on digital. We have a few activities that we do, but even more for the new products that I was talking about before. I think in the UK, my digital team was about 10 people. So just the digital part of the marketing team was quite big because for vaping products and for heated tobacco products, we have a lot of direct-to-consumer digital marketing. So yeah, huge priority, very interesting area of the business. And I think for any marketeer that is starting their career now, I think it's an important area.
Thank you. And we have only a few minutes left. I will direct you to our last questions.
Sure.
And what was the most challenging thing for you in the process of reaching your current position?
Good one.
Good one.
Yeah, there's many challenges, of course, right? I think not an easy question. I mean, I think probably it's a bit of a generic answer, but when you're a bit younger, you're late 20s. So for me, that's about 10 years ago, or let's say late 20s, early 30s. You're working very hard, you're showing everything you can, and you get a bit for me, that was, for example, I was a manager for about, let's say, 10 years now. I wanted, of course, to become a director, and I felt I was ready and I deserved it, and it just didn't happen. I was waiting, and sometimes you get a bit impatient, but you just have to stay positive and have to keep that focus on being respectful, delivering good work. Don't focus too much on a short-term goal. And eventually good things happen. And I think that's what I meant as well before when I was younger. And I think that's a general thing that people go through when you're younger. You're a little bit more focused on your career and individualistic. That's a challenge, and it makes you mature as a person. And I feel that, that challenge for me to go more from, thinking about the bigger picture and waiting patiently for good things to happen. And then you also focus on different things. You focus more on people and focus on doing the right thing. So that transformation was, I think, a big transformation for me. It takes time. It takes time and patience and just believing in doing the right thing.
Thank you very much. We have come to the end of our time. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us.
Sure, of course. Welcome.
Teşekkür ediyoruz Nick Bey'e değerli paylaşımları için. 17. kez bir araya geldiğimiz, her saniyesi dolu dolu geçen Online Kariyer Summit'in sonuna geldik. İki gün boyunca mühendis ve teknoloji ile satış ve pazarlama oturumlarımız ile elimiz dolu dolu Ayrılıyoruz bugünden de. Kariyer yolculuğunda bizimle beraber olmanız bizim için çok değerliydi. Kariyer hikayelerini ve deneyimlerini bizlerle paylaşan sektör profesyonellerimize ve sorularıyla katkıda bulunarak farklı bakış açılarını kazanmamızı sağlayan siz katılımcılarımıza çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Etkinliklerimizden haberdar olmak için Out of Campus ve 3İK sosyal medya hesaplarımızı takip etmeyi unutmayın. İyi ki varsınız, iyi ki 3İK var. Hoşça kalın diyoruz.